How's it going? Santino with the House Motor Rad. I'm going to be demonstrating how to check the bowl of a carburetor. The customer's riding this motorcycle, and halfway through riding, it stopped working. So it could be a number of things. I've replaced the battery already because sometimes if the battery is not charged enough, it does not have enough cranking amps, it will not be able to provide voltage to the ignition coils, which lead to the spark plug. And if that voltage is too low, there's not enough spark happening, which means that the motorcycle won't run. So I have it on a tender right now. It's not even plugged in, but it was charging all night. So the battery should be good. However, just for fun, I checked the other float bowls of the carburetor, and you can see right here there's some rust spots in here. This was completely covered in rust. There's like a puddle of like rusty metal right in the middle here, but I've cleaned it out a little bit here. Still have some work to do, but I think it's a great idea to clean the carbs, and the customer has expressed some interest in getting this done, although he's not responsive. But I would say that it's okay to go for it because he wants to have a motorcycle that runs. So I think it's okay to get going on it. So we're gonna be, you can take the carburetor out entirely, but Nico has showed me a couple times you can just take the bowl off if you can access the screws here. So I'm just gonna be saving myself some time, so I don't have to remove the air box or any unnecessary things here.
What are you using to take that off? It's usually a Phillips head, right?
This is a Phillips head. Usually the float bowls are Phillips head screws.
And be careful not to use the pointy Phillips head. You want to use the blunt Phillips head screwdrivers, because if you use the pointy ones, it'll strip these carb screws.
Absolutely.
And if you strip these carb screws, we have new carb screws right there in this little cabinet back here in the back.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you got that blunt. Yeah,
there's always a tool for the job.
Always a tool for the job. How much you pay for that? Like $200, bro?
This is $6 for the ratchet itself.
$6?
$6.
Nice.
And then you can go to McGuckin's Hardware for this stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm getting this last screw out here.
Usually with the bowl, there's 4 screws.
So you'll locate them as you see fit, and then this should be good to go. I don't think these have ever been taken off, but let's see what's inside.
Make sure to be careful when you're taking off these float bowls, because there's floats in there, and sometimes they're made out of aluminum, sometimes they're made out of brass, sometimes they're made out of plastic, and you do not want to damage those floats. Yeah. These are the floats right here.
And you want to be really careful. Just like take your time. Don't rush anything.
Oh, that looks gnarly.
You see what we got here?
That is real bad.
Gosh, that was a nice little sand pit of rust here.
Oh, god damn. That's horrible.
That's good for the camera right there.
That's horrible.
But this is pretty fucked up.
Yeah,
and,
that's real bad.
This is what your engine's running off at this point.
Yeah, pure rust.
Pure rust.
Who knows what the inside of the cylinder looks like? What the jets look like?
And that's why I went ahead and did this job, even though the customer didn't approve it quite yet, because he's gonna want this shit.
It's needed.
This is so needed.
You can't run a bike with this.
You can't run that shit.
Look at this, he's scooping it out like it's soup, bro. Look at this dude, right? Dump that out, man. Don't even try and save the gas.
We got our oil drain pans on the wall over here.
Right there. Make sure that when you drain this, it goes in there, or we have a gas bucket, an old gas bucket, but you don't want the nasty sediment there. This is all trash.
Look at this shit. It's just,
oh my god.
This is the worst I've ever seen it in my life.
That is real bad.
Yeah, so you can tell this is not ideal, right?
Not ideal at all.
If you look inside this gas tank, actually, let's take a look at it. Just for the opening this up.
Doohickey. Oh,
it's pretty rusty in there.
Fam.
It's pretty fucking rusty in there.
That's bad.
So that's bad.
That's real bad.
It's not ideal.
Not ideal at all. You need at least 3 fuel filters for that. Lord.
You need fuel filters, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So.
Oh, did you already install a fuel filter?
I did.
Nice. Yeah, look at that. Santino was thinking ahead. This is gonna prevent some of the rust from getting into your carburetors, which is what clogs them. So that was a smart move by Santino. Whenever you're installing these, make sure that you put them in the correct way. There's a certain flow, and it'll say
a directional arrow.
It'll be a directional arrow on the other side. Make sure it's going with the fluid.
So this is pretty bad.
Yeah, that's real bad.
What we want to do is clean this out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll take some sort of solution that is able to break away at this material. So something like some brake parts cleaner or some carbon choke cleaner will do the trick. I rarely ever use these, but this is actually probably great. That is fucking unbelievable.
Let's get the money shot. Yeah. God damn.
It's as if you dug in your ear and got some earwax.
Hell no.
Yeah.
That's like a Shrek Q-tip right there.
Donkey.
Nice.
That's how I usually
satisfying.
get it going.
Yeah.
So there's only so much I can clean this bowl. I'll definitely get to most of it, but time is money, and some of this stuff, that residual stuff, it's not going to really come off. It's kind of stained almost, so I'd say that's okay for the cleaning portion of things. But the thing we really want to clean, moreover, is going to be the jets themselves. And there's going to be two main jets you're going to be looking at. I can't fucking get it in. There it is. There it is. All right. Two main jets you're going to be looking at. They're going to be your main jet, which is in here. Let's see if I can take this out. Let me get a different angle. Hold on. So you can tell your main jet will be probably the one that hangs the lowest. That will go into that little hole in the bottom of the carb right there. It might come out with the emulsion tube, which is what it sits in.
That's the hole right there. Right there.
Exactly. So here it is. It came out with the emulsion tube, which is okay. We're just looking to see if the air passage is good enough. So we'll take our nifty compressor hose here and just blow through.
Make sure you're holding on tight to the jet.
It can fly away and then it will get lost.
You will never find it.
You're gonna get pissed at yourself. So I'm looking through this thing. It's looking pretty clean. I don't know if you can see, but you can definitely see the passages of air through there. Or you can see the passage of light through there.
Yep.
So I'd say that's pretty clean. So I'm gonna set that aside right now and get the other one out. This is gonna be your pilot jet. I'll explain to you what these jets do in a minute. Alright, cool. So we have our main jet, which is pretty much this top part above my fingernail. Let's say we got a 110 in there. It's the same for the other side as well. And we got our pilot jet here, which is a 89. I've looked at this bike before. It looks like these are pretty stock jetting. So I'm not going to change these, but I'm still looking to see if there's anything wrong with these or anything clogging it. Looks like there's some passage of light through there. Nothing looks corroded or dirty. So we're going to be keeping these. Basically, your pilot jet is how internal combustion works when on idle. So when your bike is just idling, you're not on the throttle, this is what's sucking fuel into the carburetor, and the air mixture will flow into the cylinder. So that's the job of the pilot jet. And then the main jet is when you're on the throttle, when it needs more fluid input. This is what will engage. So these are definitely essential for your motorcycle to run. If you have an old motorcycle that doesn't run, it's probably your carburetor or your battery. But now I can verify that these are completely clean. So I can throw it back in there.
Did you spray the hole inside there?
I didn't spray them, but they were totally clean, so
Sweet.
I felt pretty good about it.
Nice.
But it never hurts to do those things here and there, but if it's not necessary, get that going. So I was surprised to see that these jets weren't too clogged. Sometimes they do get clogged. I'll make sure to tighten them up real nice so they won't move. And sometimes it's beneficial to take the entire carb out. Alright, so now I'm just putting the bowl back on. Nothing too crazy here. But I know that inside the carburetor, it's completely clean. And now we have the fuel filter in there. We don't have to worry about other dust or rust getting in there. And that's fucking huge. Pretty sure it goes like that right there. And always take mental notes on how you take things apart. So you don't remember how things go back together, could cause problems down the road. In this case, we're putting back the idle screw in place of where it was before. That'll do. Alrighty, so I put the carbs back together. All the jets are cleaned out and the bolts are back on. I've tightened all of the screws down. So that's good to go. I've checked the spark plugs to make sure that they're clean. So when I start this, it won't give me a tough time. And also that fuel filter's in there. So we're good on that. That should be it. We'll see if it starts. I really hope it does. Let's see one thing real quick. So I'm gonna check the battery voltage real quick because it's a new battery, but I had it on tender all night. So it should be good to go. So let's take a look here. So we'll turn this on. It's right there. That's good to go there. I'm just gonna see what kind of voltage we're getting here. Put the positive prong on the positive terminal, negative terminal on the negative terminal. Getting 13 volts. Let's see roughly. It's still on there. Yeah, 13.1 volts. So I'm saying that's pretty good. This thing's gonna want to start, so let's hope for the best here as I kick it over. So a good sign here is the neutral signal is on, so it wants to start. The lights even on for the instruments. So like I said, should be good to go. We'll turn fuel on. So it's in the on position right now. You can see an arrow on the petcock that will tell you where to go. This is the choke. You want that choke to be on because it's a cold engine. That's just a part of the cold start process. Make sure the kill switch is in the on position. Electrical works. Then we'll find that compression stroke via the kickstart. It'll feel like a tough part there. There it is. Almost there. So it's struggling to run right now. So I'm gonna turn these air fuel mixture screws out a little bit. Should give it a little bit more. I did a full turn on each side. So now we're at 2.5 turns out. Should give us a little more air and fuel into the system. See how we doing. Right on. So this thing is struggling to start. I'm just happy that it starts at all, to be honest. But these 350s, 360s from 1970, they always give me a hard time. So I'm gonna check the plugs just to see what it's looking like here. A spark plug can give us a lot of hints at what can be happening inside the carburetor. So let's take a look at how it's combusting in there. All right, so you can see it's looking pretty sooty in there. A lot of this black shit on there. That will be from a rich fuel mixture. So I know that these fuel mixture screws are at the right setting. However, I think someone has tampered with the carburetors because of these aftermarket hose clamps I'm seeing on here. That is not made by Honda. So someone has gotten in there, someone's done a rebuild at some point. So I'm gonna have to ask the customer if that has happened before, and if so, they're gonna need a new jet size because this is way too rich. So we're gonna go from there. Yeah. Alrighty. So since our last video, we were talking about how these spark plugs are too sooty, and I need to get confirmation from the customer. So we actually did get customer confirmation that we can do the rejet. So we originally had 110s and 68s, not 89s, but 68s in there. And that's okay. That's okay for like maybe sea level. But for this motorcycle, since we're at higher elevation, about a mile up in the air, we want a 102 to allow for the thinner air that's out here because the fuel mixture was too rich, leading to that sooty spark plug that you saw. So I've already done the work already, put the 102 in there, and let's see if it runs. All right. Kill switch is on, key is on, the petcock is on in the reserve setting because there's not a lot of gas in there, and we'll turn the choke on right there. So let's see what we got. Woo! First kick, let's go, baby. All right, cool. Let's take it for a spin. What happened? It died on me. What's the deal? How about that? We're in good shape, folks. All right, so it wasn't running because it was in the on position instead of reserve as I initially said. So I put it in the reserve position and it worked perfectly fine. Just the idle screw a little bit, and looks like we're in good shape. So the carbs are done. They're clean. We know it's clean. The fuel filter's in there. So I know that not a lot of rust is getting in there. At least it might be a little bit, like a little bit of rust getting in there. But that's for a later project if they want us to seal the tank at a later date. The other thing we got to do is an oil change, and after that, this thing's good to go. And we'll go through the invoice making process in that next video.